guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm gonna rush through the nice kind of glamorous makeup side of things, and then we'll get on to the good bit, which is the bit you've all been waiting for, which is my skull Halloween tutorial. So first of all, I'm just gonna prime my eyelids like always using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in... This one was in light actually because I went very pale because I wanted the eyeshadows to really pop. And then I just powdered with some It Cosmetics translucent powder, and then going in with the Zoeva Cocoa Blend palette, I'm just going to take the palest orangey shade just on the outer corner of my eye and just blending it in with a big fluffy brush. I just want dramaticness to be on the outer corner. And then taking Zoeva's Cafe New Palette, or Zoeva's new palette in Cafe, I'm just taking the khaki green shade and the brown shade, and I'm just going to pop that on in the outer corner. And then I'm going to be taking a little bit of the black eyeshadow. This is Corrupt from Makeup Geek, just on the outer corner. And then for my winged eyeliner, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Master Precise Felt Tip Liner to create that wing. I'm making it quite long, quite dramatic. Then going on to the face, I'm going to be taking my Bare Minerals Bare Pro Liquid Foundation. This is a full coverage foundation and I'm loving it. I'm using the shade Pecan 18, which is quite pale for me. It'd be like my winter shade, probably when I'm not fake tanning. So I do need to go and get a different shade of this for like my tanner days, but it's perfect for my skull Halloween look. And then I'm just going to take my Yves Saint Laurent concealer that I've been loving at the moment underneath my eyes to cover up those bags. But again, everything's quite pale. I wanted this, even the glam look, to be a little pale. Then going in with my Buxom bronzer. This is in Maldives. I love this bronzer. I've used it many times before, but I used the other shade. This one's a little bit darker, and I'm digging it. I saw Desi use it and I was like, let me switch shades. And then going in with some brown eyeshadow on the underneath bit of my eye. Right, here's the good stuff. So I'm going to start drawing like that little mask that I made on my face. This is with the NYX Faux White eyeliner, and I'm just going to, like I said, stencil it. It's easier to rub out white when you go wrong, which you'll see in a minute, than it is if you were to go in with like black or brown. See what I mean? I did a straight line there for whatever reason. So then once I've stenciled out the rest of the mask, I'm also going to carve out my jawline and then go in with what's essentially would be white face paint, because I always find face paint always makes me break out. So to stop that happening, I'm going to go in with my NYX Total Drop foundation, or Total Cover Drop foundation, and this is in the shade Pale, which is 01, so I'm guessing this is like the palest foundation of their shade ranges that you can get. If you want to go in face paint, you totally can. I just, yeah, didn't want to break out, and I feel like it's almost like a nicer effect than having white face paint on your face. But yeah, so I'm just going to go in all those areas that I didn't carve out, and then you can kind of start to see where the mask is. Then now I'm going to take an angled brow brush with some brown eyeshadow on, and I'm going to start to carve out where everything's going to be. So like the jawline, where the teeth are going to lay, also the jaw bit that I'm going to be doing around the teeth, just kind of so I can see where those are going to be. And then now I can focus on the stenciling and the shading around the mask. It's super easy. It's just very time consuming. You're going to need like a couple of brushes. So I first went in with, I think it's my 237 from Zoeva, which is just like a little tiny little shader brush, and then I went in with a big fluffy brush using my Buxom bronzer and some soft brown kind of mixed together. And then I'm going to go on top in a minute with the darkest kind of brown that I have, and then I'm going to go back on top with black eyeshadow. So the darker the color, the less blend I'm going to do, because I want to see that like almost ombre effect. It goes from the black to the brown, then to the bronze shade. So yeah, I just think it looks really cool, and I just think taking that extra little bit of time makes such a difference. And then now taking my Kiko liquid cushion eyeliner, I'm just going to make 2 little lines on my nose and then join it up in the middle. It's like a V, and then I'll just kind of curve it around the tip of my nose to make like a little cute little skeleton nose. And then using the same angled brush and the same liner, I'm just going to kind of curve out the jawline and make it a little bit more striking and skeletal-like. You can go in with black paint. I just used eyeliner because it was right in front of me. And I'm just going to carve out the forehead a little bit. I wish I could do this in real life, you know. I wish I could get away with doing something like this. Make my forehead look a little bit slimmer and trimmer. And then I'm just going to get a little bit of black eyeshadow and just shade out those edges so it's not so much of a harsh black line. It just kind of adds a little something and isn't too kind of garish. And then I'm going to do the same thing that we did on the mask area around kind of the jaw. So I'm going to start with the bronzer, then go into the brown, and then add a little bit of black shading to that kind of, this is like where the teeth are going to lie. So I just wanted to kind of shade that in. And then also I'm going to start to bring it around, so that's where the teeth are going to stop. And again, I'm going to start shading. I did go a little bit wrong. I shaded the whole area in, which I didn't really want to do, so I'm just going to remove that middle section. Just looks a bit better. I feel like it just looks I don't know, it just looks, I think it looks more cuter like that, where it's just joint from the jaw to the mask rather than all the way up to the ear. So now for the teeth, all I'm going to do is get some of the black eyeliner again, and I'm using my liner brush, and I'm just going to draw kind of where my teeth would naturally lay. It looks quite big on the face, I feel, but I wasn't bothered about it. And then taking like a little liner brush, this is one that I got from Poundland. Poundland does the cutest kind of small artist brushes, and that's perfect for makeup. So to actually do the teeth, what I'm going to use is my Maybelline Master Precise eyeliner, and the best way to do the teeth is to kind of chop off the kind of corners of the squares that I've just kind of made, and then you kind of bring, you can see it better when I'm doing the top teeth, but you kind of bring the liner around and kind of like go in, so it makes kind of like say like the root of your teeth. You see how that, you can see it kind of goes in instead of going up in a straight line. I'm kind of bringing it in to make like little triangles in between each teeth. That just makes it look more teeth like, so it's not so straight line, straight line, straight line. It just extra, you know, if you got the time, why not do it? It's just time consuming. It's quite easy though, but it's just time consuming. And then now, just to get extra bougie, where I've kind of filled in those triangles, all I'm going to do is just put a little bit of black eyeshadow and use a pencil brush just to kind of drag the eyeshadow down, because it just creates more shading. So again, it's just more depth. That's why I think I like doing all this the shading around the mask and around the teeth, because it just creates it a little bit, it takes it from like 0 to 100, do you know what I mean? It takes it from like a good look, but then you could make it to an even better look with just a little bit of shading. But again, it's just time consuming. Honestly, this look did take me forever, but I loved it, and I think I'm going to redo it for Halloween. I kept looking at my face and I felt like something was missing, so all I did was just add 2 little like triangles on my cheeks, almost as if you were going to do like a clown makeup look. I just felt like it added something extra. I then used some black eyeshadow down my neck to kind of shade it in a little bit more, and then on the inside of the mask I kind of made like a big kind of C shape, and I just added some more shading there. I just felt like it needed it on the cheekbone area. It was a little bit bare, so I just went in again with the same colors and the same kind of techniques applied, but just on those kind of areas inside the mask. And then after that, I decided to go down the kind of like bridge of my nose by my brow bone and just start to shade in those areas. It made the skull look a little bit meaner and just kind of added more characteristic to the whole look. And I just blended out with some buxom bronzer and a big fluffy brush. I also placed some beauty marks on the face. I placed one in the middle of my forehead, by my eye, and then on the side of my nose, just again to add some, you know, just to make it a little bit more interesting. And then I waxed on my thinner lashes from Iris Beauty. Now you can totally leave this look here. I think it looks pretty good without this, but I decided to go and fill in the teeth with some white eyeliner. This is a gel liner from Ofra Cosmetics. Don't quote me, but I think it is in White Rabbit. I'll leave all the good stuff down in the description box below. But yeah, I just think it added to the look. It just made it a little bit more skeleton-like, I guess.
This is not forever. Folks changing like the weather. Cold wind and all around.
But that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this Halloween tutorial. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and let me know what you think of it in the description box below. Hope you have a fantastic Halloween, and I'll see you in my next one.